It's Delhi versus Hyderabad. Match number 33 from the same venue in Dubai. We've seen 6 teams in action. This is top versus bottom. It's number 2 playing number 8 at the moment. Hyderabad had a season to forget, the first half of the season. As Harsha mentioned, can they find a way to turn it around? Maybe they'll be watching this game and saying, if anyone can defend 4, we can win 7 out of 7. Surely, anything's possible. And if you have a look at the squad...
Yeah, I mean, you think of Hyderabad, and who's the first player that comes to mind when you think of Hyderabad? Yeah, there's Bhuvneshwar, yes, there's Kane Williamson. You think Hyderabad, you think Warner, right? And they dropped Warner from the side midway through. They took away the captaincy. They dropped him from the side. He's now certain to play, and that's only because Johnny Bairstow has gone away. And I heard something very interesting that in the warm-up games, Kedar Jadhav was keeping wickets. So I wonder if there's some method by which they want to play Roy and Warner both up front and have Kedar Jadhav keep wickets. I wonder if they're just trying it out in case it's an emergency, because that'll be really hard on Saha.
Yeah, but they've got 2 keepers. They've got Sriraj Goswami if they were to need someone up front. But again, it's not that they've got a lack of a keeper, but really 4 overseas players from here. David Warner, Captain Williamson, Rashid Khan. That's 3. You have 1 to choose from.
That's 3. So do you think that you need, because your seam bowling isn't what it was 4 years ago, that you need the support of Jason Holder and also calm head in a chase at 6? So do you need Jason Holder? Do you say, no, hang on, the spinners are doing okay. Nabi is a big finisher. Can I use Nabi? Or do I just go back to the old template where we had Warner, Bairstow, Williamson all playing, and I go with Roy and back my Indian bowlers and Rashid Khan to do the job for me? Because there's enough Indian bowlers there. Natarajan's going to come back. Khalil is there. Bhuvneshwar is there. They've got enough Indian bowling. So whether they go in with 3 or overseas batsmen.
Shaun, I'm just going to throw one more X factor in there. Given that the Caribbeans are the flavour of the month right now, since they've come in with match practice, Shafeen Rutherford's an option.
Yeah, he is, but I'd be very surprised if they went that route, considering the rest of the squad and the guys who've been sitting around. I think Bobby's reintroduction is a big plus for them, and I think that then you look around, you think, okay, we've got some bankers. I think in the past, some of their bowling options, you haven't really had the bankers for 4 overs. Bobby is a banker, and that's why I think they could be contemplating having the 3 hitters at the top of the order. So you got Williamson, you got Warner, and then maybe Roy. I think when Bairstow and them were mixing and maybe Warner wasn't playing, I don't think they were that confident in their bowling. So they wanted a little bit more balance, a little bit more help in that department. But I don't think they require that now.
Well, they've always had these options to choose from. Among all the franchises, the choice of 4 overseas somehow has been a talking point more for the Orange Army than for others. Jason Holder has been a calming factor. He could possibly be a front runner instead of Jason Roy. But let's talk about the team that are in the top 4. They've been flying high the last couple of seasons. Maybe they felt that this could quite be their season. Again, in terms of
just picks themselves.
The South African
the 11
bowling.
Picks itself.
The 11 seems to be picking itself here.
It's much like Mumbai. The 11 just picks itself here.
Yeah. I mean, they've obviously been untouched, haven't they? But I mean, everyone's returned. Everyone knows their places where they've been. They're top of the table. They're in a good position. They'll trust the guys who've done the job already. So I think they're in a really good space. And also, I mean, if you had to think of picking anyone to start your campaign again against, I think the Sunrisers would be the team that you'd be hoping to start and get back to winning ways. But it looks like a strong squad there when you have a look at all the different options they've got. And they've got everything to deal with whatever conditions present themselves in the day. I would be very surprised if it's a new surface. I think it would be the same pitch as it was used today. I don't think they've got time to prepare anything else. And it looked like a belter of a surface. So I'd want your balance to be pretty well balanced with them being able to mix it up. I think the slow balls and the cutters and a little bit of spin would be an effective options.
Perhaps it's still one choice, Harsha. In terms of overseas players, if you've got Rabada and Nokia already there, and you put Steve Smith into the 11, they've got the choice between Hetmeyer and Marcus Stoinis.
No, I think they play both Hetmyer and Stoinis. I mean, Hetmyer, if he comes off, can win you a game. Hetmyer did that a couple of times. He was Guyana, Amazon Warriors, right? He did that a couple of times. He's had a couple of good games even in the first installment. So I see them playing a Hetmyer kind of person simply because they've got Shreyas Iyer back. So they can now play Shreyas Iyer at 3, Hetmyer at 4, Rishabh Pant at 5, Stoinis at 6. Or even if the fancies push Stoinis up as a big hitter and adjust the batting order accordingly, Hetmyer as a finisher at 6, then Akshar and Ashwin. Rabada can bat towards if you need a couple of big hits at the end. And I think the best thing is it allows Nokia to come back. So you've got Rabada, Nokia and Avesh Khan. That's a pretty good quick bowling attack. Ashwin and Akshar with Stoinis as your 6th bowler. I think you've got all bases covered there.
Yeah, I think we forget that Nokia didn't play, did he, at the back end because they wanted to get Steve Smith in, and that was to do with Shreyas Iyer not playing. So yeah, I think once he's reintroduced, they might go back because that was a really good combination for them. I mean, obviously, I'm a South African. I'm not just saying it because of that, but Nokia and Rabada were pretty instrumental in their performance last year.
So you're basically, to sum it up, you're saying Shreyas Iyer plays the Steve Smith role, and that settles the 11 right there.
Yeah,
with a little more flamboyance, I think.
Or with a little less flamboyance.
Well, not in terms of movements at the crease. I mean, look, we've got to be cognizant of the fact that we're talking about a great when we talk about Steve Smith. But I'm not sure whether he's really quite owned the T20 format in much the same manner. So, given that a Nokia at the back end on these pitches is likely to be more useful, and given that there is now a very good option at the top of the order, it just makes sense. But they have one change. Who went out? They've got the Dwarshu is back. They've got to get an Aussie back. Who's it? They lost somebody, so when Dwarshu comes in.
Chris Wokes is the one who went out, and in came Ben Dwarshuis.
Yeah, Chris Wokes went out.
So they actually forget how good a squad they've got. I mean, Ashwin was also he pulled out because of COVID. I think it was the last game or two he didn't play. When you look at their squad, they really do have all bases covered. Sometimes you forget who they got as the backroom. I mean, even Ishan Sharma, we've hardly seen much of him. I mean, Mishra,
whenever he got a chance, Mishra came in, picked up wickets.
So yeah, he was really good in Dubai last year, wasn't he? Before he got injured. Sure, yeah.
They've got that Lalit Yadav is a good player. This Delhi boy, Lalit Yadav, is a good player. They've got Umesh Yadav, who's just come off a really good test match. He's in good rhythm. Umesh Yadav, Ishan Sharma there. They played that Meriwala for one of the games. But they've got Sam Billings, who's a proper T20 batsman in there as well. I think they could actually put out 17, 18 players out of there.